close of our program, we hope that you've enjoyed this experience exploring the power of the mind. In thinking of this, I thought about Mr. Todd Hunt, who could come and inspire us. He is a motivational speaker. He has spoken all over. He has gotten schools to #1. He has done such a great job. He is a graduate of Oakwood University. He works for our government. And yes, he is my husband. Can't leave that out. No, but we want to, at this time, welcome Mr. Todd Hunt for these powerful 5 to 10 minutes. Hey. Let's give it up.
Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody for having me here. Before I tell a little bit about myself, can I get something off my chest? It's something that disturbed me this week that I read. MSNBC, y'all know MSNBC, right? They put this article out there and it disturbed me. Don't worry, it's going to be 10 minutes from after I get done with this. But it says, from campus to the courtroom, students sue Harvard over prison investments. The #1 institution in this country has $40 billion invested in the prison system. $40 billion. They're investing that you will fail, not succeed, not with programs that are going to help our kids make it up. They're banking that we will fail because they're making money off of it. If that does not disturb you and bother you, something is wrong with you. This is a system. Is that all right saying that? I'm saying, I had to get that off my chest. Because when I read that and I see black history, you gotta understand. I come from a small town called Niles, Michigan. Most of y'all, it's not a suburb of Detroit. It's like 2.5 hours from Detroit, but it's part of the Underground Railroad. And what happened was that how my family got up there is that somebody, a slave owner, bought land in a small little town called Cassopolis, Michigan. And from there, that's where my family settled. However, the Kentucky Raiders came over there to do some business and take us back down south. And when they went up there to take us back down south, the people of Cassopolis, Michigan took their guns and said, go back. See, it takes all of us to make it, right? Now, most people know me because of this guy right here. If you don't know him, his name is Eric Thomas. Steve Harvey's show, he was on it. He's the #1 speaker in the world right now. He's one of my best friends. But I want you to understand this. Repeat after me. Whatever the mind can conceive, the body will achieve. Repeat that. Whatever the mind can conceive, the body will achieve. 3 things you will do in this life. You will understand, you will think, and execute. All 3 things first start in your head. The power of the thought can change the entire destiny of your family and can change the destiny of where you are going. How do you know that? There was a father in Compton, California with 2 daughters. There was no precedence for it. Compton, California. Nobody from ever Compton ever made #1, #2 in the world. But a dad had a thought. And that thought transformed into execution. And his daughters became #1 and #2 in the world. Why? Because at 4 and 5 years old, he saw something in them with no precedent. He tried to understand it, teach his daughters how to execute it in the background. Playing handball with no racket. Think about that. No precedence. Don't make your situation an excuse for not making it. Harvard is banking on you not making it. What does that mean for us? Understand this. It takes 10 years. What did I say?
10 years.
Or 10,000 hours to become an expert. Think about it. From that point in time, he was teaching his daughters. Took him 10 years exactly to be #1 and #2 in the world. They were 13 and 14, right? Y'all know the story, right? An expert is someone who has a broad, deep competence in terms of knowledge, skill, and experience through practice, education, in a particular field. Think about this. Whatever you're teaching your child today, that's what they're going to become. Teach your child your blessings to make it. They may not be making it right now, but train them right now. Don't give up on them. You see, I learned something. When I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. You know how? Because children first, what do? They talk first, they think second, and then they understand third. That's how children think. Some of us haven't gotten out of that thought process. What do intelligent people do? They understand first. What does that mean? Perceive the intended meaning of things. Let me give you an example. Even though people may disagree, I heard this, and I had to execute with some 3rd and 4th graders. How many 3rd and 4th graders are in here right now? None? I know they're here. But I heard the flunk out rate of 3rd and 4th graders determine the prison capacity for the next 20 years. When I heard that, it irked something in me. I said, let me do something about it. So I took 4 guys. Took a guy named Elliot, Lamar, Danny, Donnie, and another young man named Brian. And I said, listen, what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you some cards made out of paper, but I'm not going to give you the instructions. See, life doesn't come at you with instruction. It comes at you in pieces. I said, this is your final product, but guess what? Take these pieces of paper and find a way to cut them out and make this. And those young men spent all that time making that. That's what we did every time I babysat. I was like, oh, I got another one for you. Try this. You can mess up as many times as you want. Think about this. You can mess up as many, but you gotta make this. Those young people today are vice presidents, doctors with 3-story houses. I mean, I'm proud of those young men. All because we started in the 3rd and 4th grade with this thought process. Understand things, okay? Next one, think. Have an idea about the meaning of things, okay? What do I mean by that? I'm a software programmer. My degree is mathematics, computer science with a minor in chemistry. But I was never going to get an opportunity to be a project manager because of the color of my skin. But every day, I didn't let that stop me. I studied what the project managers did. I said, yeah, I ain't going to do that. I'm going to do this. And even though it took me 10 years, what did I say?
10 years.
10 years before I finally got my opportunity. And the opportunity was a bad opportunity. I was pulled in the office. I was just a tester at that time. And they pulled me out and said, Todd, you got to turn this program around. If you don't turn it around in 1 month, you all are fired. But you know what? That 10 years of preparation, we ended up not only exceeding it, I got a recommendation from the CEO. I want you to understand this. Let me give you an extra bonus here. Be careful what you put into your child's head. What do I mean by that? I got 3 cousins. They have 1 father, but 3 different mothers. One of them plays for the University of Michigan, basketball. Another one right now, she's a Cass County treasurer where I'm from. The other one though, still with mama. Why? Because she told her son every day, you're just like your dad. Now my uncle was not the best father. He abandoned his kids. But the other 2, as crazy as my uncle was, they always talked positive about their dad. And I saw the difference between the 2. Be careful who you're with. Third thing, carry out ideas into the effectiveness of the meaning of those things. What do I mean? Let me give you something here. An example, attendance and grades. Y'all know the correlation? Let me talk about it. Absentee in the first month of school can predict poor performance throughout the school year. Half the students who have missed 2 to 4 days in September go on to miss nearly a month of school. Think about this. Over 8 million U.S. students miss nearly a month of school each year. Poor attendance can influence whether a child can read proficiently by the end of the 3rd grade or they'll be held back. Think about this. Just showing up. By 6th grade, chronic absence becomes a leading indicator that a student will drop out of high school. Research shows that missing 10% of the school, or about 18 days in most school districts, negatively affects a student's academic performance. That's just 2 days a month. And that's known as chronic absence. When students improve their attendance rates, they improve their academic prospects and chances of graduating. How do I know that? When I was about in the 7th or 8th grade, I realized, man, when I attend school, Man, the more I attend school, I get better grades. But see, I would get sick. So when I got to high school, I said, you know what? I'm going to do something I had never done before. I'm going to have perfect attendance all 4 years of high school, starting in the 9th grade. I said, that's going to be my goal, and I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to give everything I have. This is execution. So, from the very first day I attended high school to the very end, I had perfect attendance. What did that transform into? I got a chance to meet the, whatever you call him, Father Malloy, Notre Dame, big guy, whatever he is, whatever, provost. I got to be top 10% of the whole Niles school district. Mom and Dad were sitting up there proud, clapping. Oh, my son is smart. No, your son stuck it with it. He showed up every day and gave everything he had. Don't have your children just take time off of a subject. That subject's going to determine their future, determines their character. When you start quitting, it turns into a habit. How do I know that? One of my friends. He's a millionaire. In fact, I have quite a few friends that are like that. But this in particular one, I said, I don't want to be a millionaire. He said, okay, this is what you're going to do. He said, I want you on the phone. I don't want you to call every day. And you get 10% of whatever you make. At first I said, oh, I can talk. I can handle that. So I got to get up there. And I started sitting up there and say, hey, let me call. But I got rejected every day for 8 hours. Yeah, I only made like 2 sales in a whole entire month. I wasn't making no money, no money, no money. I looked at him and said, I quit. Because I couldn't handle the rejection. He says, you're not ready to become a millionaire. In order to become a millionaire, you got to understand the yeses before you get past the no's. So every day, give 100%. That's the millionaire mindset. Last thing, I'm about ready to end right here. This is the one thing I learned. It's a great saying. This will determine what kind of child or what kind of family you have, all right? It says the quote from Eleanor Roosevelt, so repeat after me. Great minds. Great minds. Talk about ideas. Talk about ideas. Average minds. Average minds. Talk about places and events. Talk about places and events. And small minds. Small minds. Talk about people. Talk about people. Let's repeat that. Great minds. Great minds. Talk about ideas. Talk about ideas. Average minds. Average minds. Talk about places and events. Talk about places and events. And small minds. Small minds. Talk about people. Talk about people. What idea are you talking to your child today on? Thank you very much.